roll in a concert ticket scam. And turns out police had some help in nabbing a robbery suspect recently on the Upper West Side. The assistance was provided by an alert pizza delivery guy on a bike. 10-10 winds, AccuWeather, cloudy and chilly evening ahead with some rain and drizzle. Temperatures rising through the 40s overnight. A high tomorrow with eventual sunshine of 66.
This is Erica Hurst. Flight night for the local pros. The Knicks are visiting Houston while the Rangers are home for Columbus. The Yanks and Mets are off until tomorrow, while Virginia, Auburn, Michigan State, and Texas Tech prep for the Final Four.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kofsky. The Dow closed at 26,424, up 40. Boeing has slowed production of its 737 MAX, while the plane remains grounded. Winds News Time, 6:01. From the Ram Trucks Traffic Center, an expanded report for your evening commute. Here's Greg Rice.
We got an in the Bronx, westbound side of the Bruckner, just after the Sheridan, coming down to 138th Street. The right lane knocked out, 2 cars involved in this wreck. As I pick it up on the jam cam, it's going to back you up all the way to the interchange. Eastbound side, the rubbernecking makes it worse from the RFK Bridge right on over to the Bronx River Parkway. Not that the Cross Bronx is much to write home about. South End New England Thruway, westbound Cross Bronx, it's all one crawl from before the interchange to the George. Eastbound, the worst of it, getting back to at least 3rd Avenue. Southbound side of the Deegan, they have finally gotten rid of that broken down car near the Marshall Loop, but still bad out of Westchester from the Cross County on down. There is no easy way out over at the George Washington Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George, 25 up, 20 down. Lincoln, close to an hour in, 30 out. Holland, 20 to 30 in, close to an hour on to the outbound ride. East River options, there's not many good ones. Whitestone's a mess either way. Queensbound, you get it bad at the RFK and the Throgneck. Inbound Midtown Tunnel, outbound Brooklyn Bridge, they are all sorts of slow. Verrazano, Brooklyn bound, lower level, they've gotten rid of the wreck. The upper level, Staten Island bound, still slammed. And the westbound Staten Island Expressway, it's a mess of things all the way on out towards the West Shore Expressway. In a jam, let me know. Call the 1010 Winds traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010, 844-526-1010. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Winds.
Winds News Time, 6:03. Confirmation today that the body found yesterday in a storage unit on Staten Island is that of a missing teacher and mother of 3. Her estranged husband already in custody and his pregnant girlfriend now facing murder charges.
No bail for Michael Camerata and Aisha Agia. They remain behind bars in the murder of Janine Camerata. Agia's attorney Mark Fonte pointing out to the judge that his client was picked up on Tuesday night, but that he didn't get to see her until Friday.
So if she was arrested on Tuesday, this is Friday, 4 o'clock. What's been happening to her for all these days?
Janine Camerata, a 37-year-old mother of 3, last seen allegedly going to her estranged husband's home in Queens. On Thursday, her remains, described as charred and unrecognizable, were discovered in a storage unit on Arden Avenue. The Cameratas were in the middle of a messy divorce and custody battle over their 2 young girls. Al Jones, 1010 Winds at the criminal courthouse on Staten Island.
A judge has sided with several dozen parents who challenged Rockland County's emergency order that banned children not vaccinated against measles from entering public spaces. State Supreme Court Judge Rolf Thorson lifted the state of emergency late this afternoon, and Rockland County Executive Ed Day immediately responded, saying what hasn't changed is the message of urgency. He pointed to the 42 new exposures at Montefiore Nyack Hospital, which includes 11 children, 4 pregnant women, and 20 people with unknown vaccination status. Day also praised residents who used the state of emergency as an opportunity to get vaccinated and have conversations with others about protecting themselves against measles. Winds News Time, 6:04. A 4-alarm fire in Queens, now under control, broke out just before 1 this afternoon at a mixed occupancy building on 101st Avenue in Ozone Park. Officials on the scene say they worked to prevent the blaze from spreading further. No word yet on how the fire started. No reports on any injuries. The sentence for Craig Carton came down today. The former WFAN morning co-host was given 42 months after being convicted in a multi-million-dollar concert ticket scam.
The judge at one point compared Craig Carton to Bernie Madoff, saying what the former WFAN host did was very similar, except that Madoff did it longer and was better at it. Carton got a sentence of 3.5 years in federal prison for committing fraud and conspiracy. He'll have 3 years of supervised release after that and still has nearly $5 million left to repay investors. Carton talked about how a gambling addiction, perhaps triggered by the trauma of having been sexually assaulted as a child, made him risk and lose other people's money. The sentence was about half what prosecutors recommended. But the judge said it may make others think twice if they're tempted to rob Peter to pay Paul. Sonia Rincon, 1010 wins at Manhattan Federal Court.
News time 6:05. AccuWeather calling for a cloudy and chilly evening ahead. Periods of rain and drizzle, maybe some fog overnight. Temperatures will go up through the 40s to a high eventually of 66 tomorrow as those early clouds, drizzle, and fog give way to sunshine. For Sunday, another pleasant day. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds and a high of 65. Light rain falling across some of the area right now and 39 degrees. Winds news time 6:06. The 27-year-old man being held for murder and the friendly fire death of a Queens detective during what was believed to be an armed robbery tells the Daily News it was actually a prank gone horribly wrong. Christopher Ransom says he's a shock value comic and never meant to hurt anyone. Ransom and his alleged lookout, Jagger Freeman, are facing murder, manslaughter, assault, and robbery charges in the death of 42-year-old Detective Brian Simonson, who was fatally wounded when cops fired after spotting Ransom with what turned out to be a fake handgun. Ransom says Freeman was videotaping the whole thing, also claiming he returned the workers' cash and handed them his comedy business card. Contradicting his professed intention, though, are previous charges that link Ransom to 4 previous cell phone store robberies. The Daily News says Ransom's legal aid attorney tells him his client suffers from mental health issues and could have been trying to commit suicide by cop. Winds news time 6:07. Joe Biden making his first public remarks since issuing an apology on video for his overly affectionate behavior that a number of women have said make them feel uncomfortable. The former vice president and presumed presidential candidate spoke at a labor union conference in Washington, D.C. today. Afterward, he elaborated on his apology, speaking with reporters.
Sorry I didn't understand that. I'm not sorry for any of my intentions. I'm not sorry for anything that I had ever done. I've never been disrespectful intentionally to a man or a woman. That's not the reputation I had since I was in high school, for God's sake.
President Trump weighed in on the allegations. The president had retweeted a video that mocked Biden. He was asked about this by reporters outside the White House today.
Yeah, I think I'm a very good messenger, and people got a kick out of it. He's going through a situation. Let's see what happens, but people got a kick. We gotta sort of smile a little bit, right?
As for Biden's own run for the White House, he says he wants to be the last person to announce, which he is widely expected to do by the end of this month. Winds news time 6:08. He's a former New York congressman with a new designation.
Former Congressman Anthony Weiner was designated a level 1 sex offender by a judge in the Bronx, where Weiner is now living in a halfway house following a stint in federal prison. Weiner pleaded guilty to sending lewd texts to a 15-year-old in North Carolina. The case played a role in the 2016 presidential election when investigators found emails on a laptop that Weiner shared with his estranged wife, Hillary Clinton's aide Huma Abedin. The discovery prompted then FBI Director James Comey to re-examine Clinton's use of a private email server.
As correspondent Aaron Katursky reporting. Winds news time 6:08. A Domino's pizza delivery guy helped deliver a robbery suspect on the Upper West Side. This happened last week as police were looking for robbers responsible for swiping a woman's AirPod headphones. The Daily News reporting cops spotted one of the suspects running on West 72nd Street toward Broadway. A chase ensued, and that delivery man, a Domino's pizza delivery guy, on a bike, saw what was happening. He reportedly sped ahead of the suspect, cut him off on his bike, giving police time to catch up and arrest him. The pizza guy, we're told, still managed to deliver the pie within the guaranteed 30 minutes. Winds news time 6:09.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I miss having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Winds news time 6:10. Traffic and AccuWeather in 1 minute.
It was a magical time in our lives. A time of love and wonderment. And dreams of a life together filled with joy and happiness. Today, all that
Yeah, so kudos to you on that.
I mean, he's a nice guy. He was a very, very well-spoken, very nice guy. Could not have been a nicer guy. Signed all the autographs for the people here who wanted pictures and autographs. And
Ron's a happy man.
Oh, forget it. Ron's was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I love it. As far as Bruce Pearl and Auburn, I don't know if you saw it was on ESPN or something the other day, and there was a spot where Bruce Pearl was talking about, and he started to get like emotional, and I'm a crier myself, so it kind of hit me that it was so significant to him that Auburn is in the Final Four, and Auburn basketball is always so, it's like the redheaded stepchild, they don't get a lot of respect at that school, whereas obviously it's the football team and other things. So I thought that was pretty awesome that this is so significant to him. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it probably is. And Pearl, let's be honest, he's kind of been like, Peck's bad boy. He's always in trouble. I mean, so, and I've known him a very long time.
I know you have. I know he's a friend of yours. I know that.
I mean, we don't hang out together, but I've known him for a million years. I mean, and the guy can coach. I mean, he can coach with anybody, but he's bounced around a lot. He's been in, he's been out, he's been up, he's been down, he's been all over the place, but he can coach. He can flat coach, and that's the thing, the game has got a lot of good coaches in it. It's got a lot of attractive parts to it. It's also got a lot of ugliness attached to it, so that's the bottom line, and tomorrow's not the day you think about that. Next week you think about that. That's the way it goes. And we all do it. I'm guilty of it too. I'm going to enjoy the games. Tom and Wayne, what's up, Tom?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's up?
Do you think there's a little bit of a lack of buzz?
No, I think that's either you being not a college fan and just being hung up on Zion and Duke.
But as a whole, these four teams,
they don't
draw a lot of interest.
Man, I'm telling you,
storylines here.
There's no story. There's two terrific basketball games. That's all you need. I mean, you don't always need a storyline. You don't always need a generational guy. You don't always... Listen, I don't know about... obviously not you, but I'll tell you, I was Zioned out. I mean, I was so tired of hearing about Zion Williamson. I'm telling you, I really was. I just couldn't stand hearing about him anymore. I mean,
he is the greatest prospect in the last 15 years. He jumped higher, blocked more shots than anyone has ever done.
Really? I mean, that's not basketball. You think he's going to come in the league and impact the league more than Curry did? I don't know about that. Let's see if he does. Curry changed the whole league. Curry changed the league. Whatever you want to say about Curry. Now, Curry's not the best player in the league, but Curry changed the entire league. He changed the sport. The sport was changing, but he ushered in a new era in the sport. That's it. I mean, he just did. So, and there's been other players. To me, let's be honest, Duke was extremely vulnerable. They should have gotten beat the week before. I think the games are fun. Now, are the ratings going to be off the charts for these games? I don't think so. I don't think they will. Vincent Brewster, what's up, Vince?
Hey, Mike. Just the Yankees approach to hitting. I know the guy said there's something about this team. The Yankees that won 4 World Series, they always got in the hitters' counts. They wore pitchers out on the mound. They had guys out by the 3rd or 4th inning. And you know what? This team doesn't do that. They're up there swinging from the get-go. And it's really, you don't put any pressure on the defense. Judge
and Gardner see more pitches than anybody in baseball in the 1-2 spots. So that's not true. They do strike out a ton. The game has changed. The game has changed. And not for the better. The game is, when the Yankees were playing in the 90s and winning the World Series, they weren't talking about exit velo. They weren't talking about hitting the ball out of the ballpark in every angle. They weren't talking about uppercut every swing. I mean, that's just the way it was. The game has changed. It's about striking guys out and hitting home runs. That's become the game. For good or bad, that's become the game. I think for bad, I agree. But their information...
Glad to have you guys as my company as we head home on a Friday night. I just sat in a gym all day and took an 8-hour exam. We get this nice view of the K Bridge that we're about to go over. as we enter the borough of Queens and leave Brooklyn behind.
Joe and Clark, what's up, Joe? Hey, Mike, what's going on? I don't know if you saw that, Virginia Tech's going really hard after Kevin Willard. And if that happens, I would love to see Cruz get that job. You think he has any interest in going to City Hall at this point? I don't know if he could get out of his contract. I have no idea. I don't know what his contract is. That's the guy I want for City Hall. If Willard leaves. And it sounds like they're really going hard after him, too. Virginia Tech. Well, yeah, it's been mentioned that they're interested in Willard. I've seen that, yeah. I mean, you knew they were going to lose that guy at A&M. You knew that was going to happen. They're going to lose Buzz. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with Cruz. Listen, if anyone hires Cruz, they made a very good hire, whoever it is. He's been there a long time. Yeah, I mean, he's been in this final 5 in the last 7 tournaments. Then he hasn't really tournament. I mean, so he's been 4 in a row. 4 times in a row. You know, tournament 4 years in a row. I mean, that's very impressive. I think 2 teams. That's it. Ian Belmont, what's up, Ian?
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Happy Friday.
What's happening?
I obviously know your opinion on Zion. I don't agree to disagree there, but so if you're the GM of the Knicks, you have the #1 pick. Who do you take?
I know the Knicks are going to take Zion because they want to fill the building. I would take John Moran first.
Okay, I was hoping you would say that because I personally, watching Duke, I think Zion has the biggest ceiling, but I think RJ Barrett has peaked. I don't think I see him as
the perfect NBA player, the perfect player. Now listen, Barrett's going to be fine. He's got a lot of talent. He hasn't peaked. He just has to refine things a little bit. He's got a great first step. Yeah, he's got to learn to go to his offhand, and he's just got to get a little better. He's going to get a little better, I think, but not great. He's not going to be a great outside shooter.
Or free throw shooter, we know that.
Well, wait a minute. Did Zion make any free throws?
True, but...
okay, so Zion's, see, that's what you guys have done all year. Zion's allowed to make mistakes. Well, Barrett's not allowed to make mistakes. When Barrett wins the game for you guys, no good. When Zion loses the game for you guys, well, that's good. I mean, that's how it's been all year. Zion missed the free throw, Barrett cleans it up. That's on Zion. He's good. But then when Barrett misses the free throw, what a bum he is. He was when he missed the free throw. That's how it's been all year with those two. I mean, but that, listen, Barrett had to live with that all year. Barrett's going to be a good pro. I'd say it's going to be an overwhelming pro, but no one's called Barrett a generational pro. They called Zion a generational pro. But the guy who's going to come in the league and have the quickest adjustment to stardom is John Moran. The app hour is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. For those who like mezcal, Casamigos mezcal is the best. It's light, smoky, exceptional. Great on the rocks or with a slice of orange. WFAN reminds you, be responsible. Don't drink and drive. Now, as we know, we're down to the final 4 teams. You know what that means? It means that there's plenty to do, and plenty to do with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The DraftKings Sportsbook app's the #1 mobile sportsbook app in New Jersey. So whether you're looking for over-unders, player props, in-game betting, special odds boosts, whatever it is, they have them. Just have to be in Jersey to make the bet. You have to be there to use the mobile app. Now, baseball season heating up. The Masters next week, and that is a very fun event to get involved with. And for a limited time, DraftKings will instantly match your first bet up to $500 when you use code WFAN to sign up. All new DraftKings Sportsbook app, that's code WFAN, and DraftKings will instantly match your first bet up to $500. No gimmicks, no playthrough requirement, only at DraftKings. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey only. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Restrictions apply. Remember, the Yankees and the Mets both off tonight. A rare Friday night. There will not be another Friday night this year. They'll both be off. There won't be another Friday night. Well, either of them will be off. They're off because they both played to cover opening day. So that's why they're both off today. Because they opened baseball this year on Thursdays. So that's why if you're covered for a team, that's the way it goes. Peter in Belmont, what's up, Peter?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good.
I just wanted
Then we took the testimony of everyone in that delivery room. We proved that a doctor's mistake had disrupted the baby's oxygen supply, causing permanent brain damage. That's how we proved medical malpractice, and that's how we got Maria and her son $10 million.
Call Harris Law today, 212-593-7600 or harrislawnyc.com. The consultation is free. The compensation could be millions.
Get the latest headlines in a flash with flash briefings from 1010 Wins on Alexa. Go to the skills news section on the Alexa app. Search for 1010 Wins and enable the 1010 Wins flash briefing.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening. It's 39 degrees at 6:20 on this Friday, April 5th. I'm David Weiss. Here's what's happening. The body found in a Staten Island storage case yesterday is confirmed as that of a missing teacher. Her estranged husband and his pregnant girlfriend have been charged with murder. A sentence of 3.5 years for former WFAN morning co-host Craig Carton for fraud and conspiracy. The man who claimed to be the boy who went missing in Illinois in 2011 has been charged with making false statements. The FBI is saying he's done this sort of thing at least twice before. And how do people generally feel about Facebook and Twitter? There's a new poll out that says a majority feel they do more harm than good. 1010 Winds, AccuWeather, cloudy and chilly evening ahead, some rain and drizzle, maybe some fog overnight. Temperatures actually going up through the 40s to a high tomorrow of 66.
This is Erica Herskowitz. No baseball for the Yanks and Mets will continue their series tomorrow. The Knicks are in Houston tonight. The Rangers host the Blue Jackets at the Garden, and prep continues for tomorrow night's Final Four.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kofsky. The stocks finished modestly higher despite a solid March jobs report. The Dow gained 40. The Nasdaq rose 46.
Winds News Time 6:21. Expanded traffic and transit for you now from the Ram Trucks Traffic Center. Greg Rice.
It's getting better, but it's still bad on the Staten Island Expressway westbound from a sluggish Verrazano all the way out to the West Shore. Along the way, though, westbound Staten Island Expressway at Targee Street, they just got rid of a wreck involving a tractor trailer, so that's something. It's not nothing. Belt Parkway westbound side, you got a whole lot of traffic still out there from before Flatbush to the Verrazano. Worst to the eastbound goes from east of Ocean Parkway over to Pennsylvania Avenue. In the Bronx, westbound Bruckner, right after the Sheridan, we still have the right lane knocked out with a crash involving two cars as we're looking at it on the jam cam. It is a crawl out of the Bruckner interchange, eastbound of rubbernecking from the RFK Bridge. Southbound Deegan, finally improvement coming down to the Marshall. Just watched them drive off that earlier broken down car. They put it on the back of a flatbed and got out of there. But you still have delays all the way back through Mount Vernon on the southbound thruway, and everybody went to the Bronx River Parkway instead. So now that's a slow go from the Westchester line right on down towards the Cross Bronx. Hudson New England Thruway, they've got their own issues in the Bronx. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. There's no easy way out of the George. Inbound side, 20 to either level. Lincoln, we're looking at 40 in, 20 out. Holland, it is about 20 to 25 on the inbound go, 45 to 60 back out. Traffic sponsored by Arch Care. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
They've cared for you all your life. Now it's your turn to care for them. Look to Arch Care, a health system dedicated.
When we get to the split up ahead, which East River Bridge do you want to go over? You have your choice of the RFK, or we could head over the Whitestone. So sound off in the comments if you have a preference, because I have to make that decision in a couple of minutes here. You can either vote RFK or Whitestone. Throgs Neck is too far out of the way.
Until Friday. What's been happening to her for all these days? Where she's isolated, interrogated, kept from her family, kept from her lawyer.
The 37-year-old Camerata disappeared Saturday night heading to her estranged husband's home in Queens. Thursday, her remains, described as charred and unrecognizable, were discovered in a storage unit on Arden Avenue. The Cameratas were in the middle of a messy divorce and custody battle over their two young girls. Al Jones, 1010 Wins at the criminal courthouse on Staten Island.
Winds News Time 6:24. New developments in the measles outbreak in Rockland County. First, a judge today ruling against the county on the emergency declaration that issued a ban on children who haven't been vaccinated from schools and other public places, and so the county has lifted its state of emergency. The county's attorney had argued the ban was needed to stop the spread of measles, which has infected more than 160 people in Rockland County since October. But some parents took this ban to court, and again, the judge ruled against the county. Meanwhile, the county's health commissioner, Dr. Patricia Schnabel-Rupert, told reporters today that more than 36 people were exposed to the virus at Montefiore Nyack Hospital recently.
42 people who were at the hospital were exposed. Nyack has done an outstanding job of contacting those people. They included 11 children, 4 pregnant females, and drugs that have unknown vaccine status.
And we're told another 7 people exposed at the hospital were born before 1957, which indicates they have an immunity since they were likely exposed to the virus as children. Wednesday time, 6:25. A shelter is in place in effect at the Fashion Institute of Technology in Chelsea. The NYPD is investigating reporting now. The staff advises they all lock doors and secure all windows. The sentence is in for Craig Carton, the former morning show host, came down 42 months. That's 3.5 years.
In his speech to the court, Carton said, "My name is Craig C., and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet in 2018. The judge began hers by saying, Colleen from New York, first time, long time. She listened to him on the fan, and she said she realized he used his platform to do many good things, but that he also used it to gain the trust he needed from investors to defraud them out of more than $5 million in a scheme she compared to Bernie Madoff. Carton called what he did idiotic and suggested his addiction may have been triggered by a childhood trauma of having been sexually assaulted. The judge gave him 3.5 years in prison, about half what federal prosecutors recommended, but said, you descended into a hell of your own making. Sonia Rincon, 1010 wins at Manhattan Federal Court.
Wins News Time, 6:26. Now Bloomberg MoneyWatch. Here's Larry Kosky.
Stocks ended higher. A solid March employment report from the government produced only a lukewarm reaction. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 40. The S&P 500 rose 13. The Nasdaq Composite added 46. The U.S. jobs machine revved up again in March after a sharp slowdown in February. The government says employers added 196,000 jobs. The unemployment rate was steady at 3.8%. Wage gains cooled to a 3.2% annual rate. Move over Spotify. The Wall Street Journal reports that they were taking time for U.S. subscriptions. The paper says Apple is adding subscribers at a rate of 2.6 to 3% per month versus 1.5 to 2% for Spotify. Oil ended higher, capping a 5th consecutive winning week, its longest streak of weekly gains in nearly 18 months. Crude finished at $63.08 a barrel, up 98 cents. Bloomberg MoneyWatch at 26 and 56, past every hour. I'm Larry Kosky for 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time, 6:27.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had seen my kidney doctor because I only have one kidney that works. The other one doesn't work at all. And I was pretty close to going on dialysis if it didn't improve. This last visit to my kidney doctor, my kidney it's operating at 21% now. So that's the highest that it's been in the last 8 years. This is really working well for me, and I am so grateful that I found this, that I found you guys.
When you call, use discount code NEWS, and we'll take 20% off any first preferred order of Balance of Nature and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code NEWS.
I'm Tony Utano, president of the Transport Workers Union Local 100. TWU represents 44,000 men and women who move New York City. Operating and maintaining the New York City bus and subway system is a demanding job. The work is dirty, stressful, and often extremely dangerous. To make the job even tougher, transit workers are often the target of assaults by angry passengers. We are responsible for the safe movement of 8 million New Yorkers every day. Thanks to TWU members standing together and supporting each other, we have negotiated strong contracts with good wages and affordable health care. These are important benefits that every hard-working New Yorker should get from their employer. We'll spotlight some of the men and women who move New York City. TWU, we move New York.
Coming up tonight on CBS 2 News at 11, delivering pizzas with a side of justice. A Domino's worker catches a criminal. Plus, why were commuters rocking a subway car? See the video that led to tears and cheers. Tonight, CBS 2 News at 11.
When buying a car before you sign on the dotted line, which may include huge add-on fees, stop. At Major World, you only pay a $75 dealer fee. The price you negotiate is the price you pay, plus tax, and DMV. Major World. No games, no gimmicks. MajorWorld.com. Open 7 days a week. 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO.
Cloudy and chilly tonight with some leftover rain and drizzle. Good evening. I'm David Weiss. Wins News Time at the Tone, 6:30.
Good evening. I'm
Lori Metten. He's not 14-year-old Timothy Pitson. He's a grown man, and he's now facing charges as an adult for lying about a missing persons case. Correspondent Ryan Burrow has this story this evening.
U.S. Attorney Ben Glassman saying 23-year-old Brian Rainey refused to be fingerprinted and lied to federal agents multiple times about his identity as they questioned him. It was DNA evidence that confirmed he was not Timothy Pitson. Glassman says Rainey told authorities he learned about Pitson
from watching a 2020 episode about Timothy Pitson. We confirmed that there was such a 2020 episode and that, in fact, a rerun had aired just several weeks ago.
The charges carry a sentence of up to 8 years in prison.
Timothy Pitson was 6 years old when he disappeared in 2011. He was last seen when his mother took him out of his elementary school in Aurora, Illinois. She was later found dead of a suspected suicide. Wins News Time 6:31. From the Ramshock's Traffic Center with expanded traffic for your commute. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, back to the Bronx and the Bruckner and the brake lights and the wreck westbound getting over towards the Sheridan. The right lane knocked out, a standstill all the way on back towards the area of the Bruckner interchange. The eastbound side of the Bruckner slammed from the RFK up to the Sheridan. Eastbound cross Bronx starting to get a little better, but the westbound mess still a tough one out of the Bruckner interchange all the way to the George Deegan and the Manhattan options to the outbound George. None of those are good either. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George 20 up or down. Lincoln Tunnel 25 to 30 on the outbound go. Inbound side still going to cost about 45 minutes. Holland 25 in. Outbound side a solid 45 to 60 minutes. The ride on the belt in Brooklyn. Eastbound side still all sorts of slow back to Erskine Street. And then more brake lights on the belt in Queens from the Van Wyck over to Francis Lewis Boulevard. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. LA is a jam through Queens, through Nassau over to Suffolk and Bagatelle Road. And then from Central Islip all the way to Holtsville. Northern State, the eastbound crawl as far as the Wantagh. It is slow on the Southern State Parkway eastbound from pretty much Eagle Avenue all the way to 110 westbound from 109 back towards Hempstead Avenue. Traffic sponsored by New Jersey Transit. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 6:41 on 1010 Wins.
The New Jersey Transit Police Department reminds you that we all need to work together to keep our transit system safe. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJTPD.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Samuel.
Our cold rain continues across the tri-state. It's going nowhere. We'll see the rain falling throughout the night. It's a light rainfall, but it's steady, and it will stay that way through most of the night. It should be wrapping up, though, by daybreak, so looks like a pretty good weekend. We'll have clouds for a few hours into your Saturday, but then the sun will come out towards noon and really warm things up in the afternoon. 66 degrees for a high tomorrow afternoon. That's after temperatures hover near 40 all night tonight. By tomorrow night, it will be a more comfortable night to be out and about in the city, below 49. It's Sunday, good, too, partly sunny with a high of 65, and we're timing the weather just right because the next rainstorm arrives on Monday. We'll have a high of 62, so it will be warm despite that rain again on Monday. Only 39 right now with the rain falling in Central Park. At least the wind is light, northeast near 5 miles per hour. Repeating the current temperature, 39, and holding steady for now in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's Dave Samuel on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
The temperature now 38 degrees in Patterson. It's 38 in Merrick, 34 at the Acme in Thornwood. Sponsored by Acme. Acme, your favorite local supermarket. Dell Small Business Technology Advisor.
Everyone's favorite airport.
With Intel Core processors to get business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL.
At News Time 6:34, a prominent attorney charged in the college admissions cheating scandal is apologizing and will enter a plea. Correspondent Aaron Katursky has more.
Gordon Kaplan, the co-chairman of the international law firm Wilkie Farr & Gallagher, said in a statement he intends to enter a guilty plea to the criminal charge against him. Kaplan allegedly paid $75,000 to rig his daughter's ACT. His statement said she had no knowledge whatsoever about what he had done and has been devastated to learn it. Kaplan said he's deeply ashamed and pledged to win back the trust and respect of his daughter, family, and community.
Kaplan is no longer a partner at Wilkie Farr & Gallagher. President Trump says he'll be, once again, skipping this year's annual White House Correspondents Association dinner and holding a rally instead.
We haven't determined. We have about 3 sites. Everybody wants it. It'll be a big one. But the Correspondents dinner is too negative. I like positive things.
Mr. Trump has skipped the last 2 years. ConAgra is recalling some Hunt's tomato paste because of the possibility of mold. The recall is for 6-ounce cans of Hunt's tomato paste, no salt added. The cans have a best-buy date of October 16, 2020. The company became aware of the issue from consumer calls. There have been no reports of any illnesses. You can return the can for a refund. Otherwise, you can toss it. Wait this on 635. If you're saying that you're free on phone with social media. And Wall Street Journal NBC News poll finds 2/3 of Americans use Facebook and other social media daily. According to the survey, more than half say social media divides us. July, supporters of President Trump and older people. I'm Ann Tate. A Boeing spokesman is calling the discovery of another software issue on the company 737 MAX jet. The spokesman says the latest issue is not part of flight control software MCAS that is suspected in the 2 deadly air crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. 39 degrees now. Entertainment is next.
Hi, Lee Harris, mornings here on 1010 Wednesday. The other day I walked into a men's clothing store and everything fit. Peter Manning, NYC. Peter Manning designs clothes specifically for the not-so-tall guy. Shirts, pants, suits, everything we need. If you're a shorter guy, you got to check this out. Go to petermanningnyc.com.
Use promo code NYC at checkout to take 20% off.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. Sometimes you more answers to my toughest few pumps. When it comes to the one, get it done. With the Capital One Quicksilver card, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase every week. It's easy. That's just the way I like it. Oh, that's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. Woo! The Quicksilver card from Capital One.
And one of my favorites as a younger man, Kenji Shibuya. We hear Jim will not be involved in WrestleMania 35 come Sunday, but we also hear some 80,000 will be at the stadium to see what has become very popular entertainment. And everybody knows there is no way to free yourself from the Boston Crab. I never saw anybody as a kid or even now involved with the Boston Crab get free from it. I think most wrestling fans would agree. And Jim Ross, very flattered to hear you acknowledge from late night driving home, listening to the fan. Here's why the Russell Wilson rumor to the New York... Here's another top story. Let's face it already, what? You know, you would think it's February with this kind of, with everything. Here's why the Russell Wilson rumor to the New York Football Giants is a rumor ripe for the picking. Now, let us go back to 2015. Russell Wilson let the draft play itself out, and then he began to negotiate for the extension during the summer. Right before camp, waiting and waiting and waiting a little bit more for the quarterback market to play itself out before signing his deal with Seattle. But now he's got this look out April 15 deadline for any new deal he will eventually sign. Keep in mind, he has a 1-year and $17 million deal left and a $25 million cap hit. Eli, with 1 year and $17 million coming to him, also with the $23 million cap hit. So what are you thinking? Why am I? Well, you know from me already. Why would I bring this up? Because I'm not as smart as some of the others on this radio station. Do you think Russell Wilson seriously is going to come to the New York Football Giants? Why are we talking about this? Why am I listening to this? And why am I even putting this in the opening of the program? Who thinks seriously that Russell Wilson is coming to the New York Football Giants? And what? Eli is going to play the first half, and Wilson is going to play the second half. Here's a guess. Eli will sign an extension before Russell Wilson ever comes to the New York Football Giants. All right, we're going to take a break, and then what do you think? We're going to get to your call. So no from the 1-877 and the 337-6666. That'll be the number to call for a Friday schmooze right up until Sal Licata. And Sal coming your way at 10 on the fan.
Attention building owners, facility managers, and businesses. Your commercial HVAC and refrigeration systems are under attack. Get rid of inefficiencies, breakdowns, and costly repairs. Sounds like a job for the Jersey HVAC pros. These everyday superheroes are backed by the 5-star seal of approval. See the seal and know a superhero is on the way. Save the day and visit HVAC4NJ.com. That's HVAC, the number 4NJ.com. Jersey HVAC Pros. A whole new degree of commercial HVAC.
Discover a unique higher education experience where Jersey City meets the world. New Jersey City University, offering 43 undergraduate and 30 graduate programs in cutting-edge fields, including cybersecurity, fire sciences, nursing, business, and more. Just minutes from New York City, learn why students from all over the world found their home at New Jersey City University. Learn more at njcu.edu. That's njcu.edu.
Highway Patrol and the southbound Bruckner busy now approaching 138th Street. We do have a crash there, right lane down. East on Route 3 by Patterson Plank Road. That accident finally cleared up, but the damage has been done. Pretty busy both ways through that spot still. At the outbound Holland, delays around 45 to 60 minutes. The outbound Lincoln at a 30 to 40 minute wait. And we did have an earlier crash inside the North Tube. Luckily, that's been cleared up. So hopefully these delays should start easing out. Inbound delays at the Lincoln, still half an hour. The inbound Holland, about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm Kelly Dillon with the Fan Highway Patrol.
Hey guys, it's John Jashinsky from JJ After Dark, and with the big tournament, I'm going absolutely mad. College basketball's at its best right now, and that's why you have to try the new PointsBet betting app. Take advantage of the madness with their Make It Rain promotion. Get $3 for every three-pointer made during the tournament. Then instant $50 free bonus plus 1,000 in-risk free bets when you sign up with the exclusive code JJ. PointsBet. Stay sharp.
New Jersey only. Must be 21 plus. Additional terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Husker Summer Camps, your child will be in an environment that fosters creativity and expression, growth and learning, and a place to make memories last a lifetime. Join them for a free open house on Saturday, April 13th at the Physical Education Center. Camp staff will be on hand from noon until 2 p.m. to answer any questions about their 75-plus programs, and children can enjoy carnival games, face painting, and more. To RSVP, go to hofstra.edu/camp or call 516-463-2267.
The most illustrious late-night hosts return to television.
Hey, it's been a while, but we're back, baby. I'm Jesus Nice, and I'm the Kid Mel. We're back with an all-new late-night talk show only on Showtime. You don't miss that.
It's going to be the clearest talk show in the history of television, being that's not hyperbole. Told you come check me. The hilarious hosts discuss the culture and interview celebrity guests in their weekly late-night series.
So set your DVR, set your VCR, set your HTV.
Don't miss Desus and Mero, Thursdays at 11 p.m., only on Showtime.
It's Macy's men's clearance suiting event, online only, with 70 to 85% savings on Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and more. Get an American designer wool suit, originally $625, now just $149.99. Refresh your wardrobe with suiting starting at $79.99. Sport coats starting at $39.99. Plus dress pants and shirts, just $9.99. It's online only for a limited time at Macy's.com. Savings on regular and original prices, exclusions apply.
Spilled your red wine? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker. And is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back on track quicker. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Earl Banks Bath Fitter, a.k.a. your bathroom coordinator. Your bathroom needs a new look. Here's the winning strategy. You need someone you trust, and it's all about quality. A highly trained professional. We're talking all pro. This plate comes with a lifetime guarantee, and you will really love this. Act now and get $250 off your complete bath fitter system. Go to bathfitterny.com and tell them Carl sent you.
Bethpage Credit Union cares about what you care about, like getting great rates, low fees, and exceptional service. To learn more or to open an account, visit lovebethpage.com today. Oh, now Peter just came in from Ian Rappaport. Oh, this is such good news. America's team and DeMarcus Lawrence, they broke through their stalemate. Oh, good. This is good news. I'm going to continue reading, if you don't mind. And they're going to have a new 5-year deal extension worth more than $100 million. Oh, I think that's absolutely wonderful, so that when DeMarcus and his teammates get back on the field and play a game, I can do
Prescott back to throw, steps up, goes right, throws on the run. Oh, no! Morgan Burnett at the 14-yard line. That's the mistake you can't make. He was trying to get to Whitten while he was close out. That is
what
the first interception of Dak Prescott's career.
Never gets old to me. Maybe to some people it does, but not to me. Okay. 1-877-337-6666 is the number to call, and we'll start with Joe calling from Parsippany. Joe, you're on the fan.
Hey, how's it going, Steve? Good to talk to you again.
My pleasure, Joe. Thanks for being part of the program.
Of course. So a week ago, maybe over a week ago, last Wednesday, we were talking about, who was going to be the better option, Tulowitzki or TJ LeMahieu, and how things have changed in a week, right? It's crazy. I mean, what do you think, what do you think the Yankees do from here? What do you think they need to think of so the season doesn't get away from you too quick?
Well, that has been the question until yesterday when it came to me that when you're looking to make a change or looking to do something to get better, again, its change comes from within. And so yesterday, you saw with the Voit, and you saw with Torres having a game to die for already, with the 4 for 4 and the 2 home runs. And then I read something yesterday with Torres that he, I believe, is the youngest Yankee, along with Joe DiMaggio, or he ties Joe DiMaggio with the most 3-run home runs before the age of 25, something like that. But Torres yesterday, see, again, we were all wondering when the Yankees were fouling it off. I mean, the whole offense, it seemed like forever, was getting ahead in the count, fouling it off, and looking for ball 4. I mean, a loud foul ball was their offense. They weren't even leaving men in scoring position. They weren't even getting on. So then yesterday, and of course most of the discussion with the Yankee fans is, what is Cashman going to do? And then we saw from yesterday, he may not have to do anything because change does come from within. What is it? So the bottom line is, you saw with Torres and Sanchez, the only thing with Sanchez is his 4th throwing error of the season. Everyone thought it was catching the baseball behind the plate. But so far, not a major problem with that we have seen, but the throwing. And the throwing on a short hop and into the runner and not working out. However, if Sanchez and Voit and Bird gets going, I mean, I'm saying that you have the potential there, and certainly you can have the performance there as we saw from yesterday. So maybe yesterday.
I don't want to pay $19 either.
Hey, Steve, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while, but I'm glad the way the Mets have been playing. That I have no problem. The only question I have, and I think we got to do something with Nemo. The 0 for 13, or whatever he was after going into yesterday, he's got to sit him. I mean, there's no choice here. He can't just leave.
Accused them of lying about sexual misconduct allegations. The filings in Springfield, Massachusetts show the two sides have negotiated a settlement since Cosby went to prison last fall. In a separate Pennsylvania sex assault case, the 81-year-old comedian is serving a 3 to 10-year prison sentence. President Trump is visiting the U.S.-Mexico border in Calexico, California today. He met with local law enforcement He declared that there is an actual emergency, a reference to migration and his intention of building a border wall.
It's a colossal surge, and it's overwhelming our immigration system, and we can't let that happen.
He's inspecting border fencing that was authorized prior to when he became president, but a plaque refers to the area as the first section of President Trump's border wall. Wednesday News Time 6:51. From the Ramshaw Traffic Center with expanded traffic for your commute. Here's Greg Rice.
Lori, let's go to Brooklyn, eastbound side of the BQE, getting up to Cabot Plaza on the 1010 West Jam Cam. We've got what looks like a broken down box truck in the right lane, so that's why it's still so slow from the inbound Gowanus and Industry City. You got more brake lights on the BQE eastbound from Flushing Avenue right on up towards the Kosciuszko Bridge. The westbound worst of it from the LIE down towards Cadman Plaza, and the Belt Parkway, you got a whole lot of eastbound company from right around Knapp Street to Pennsylvania Avenue, westbound from Flatbush over towards Ocean Parkway. Staten Island Expressway still a westbound crawl from right off of the Verrazano over towards the MLK in the Bronx. The Bruckner, the accident in the right lane westbound after the Sheridan coming down to 149th Street. The right lane is blocked. The tow truck they're waiting on is stuck in the same you are out of the Bruckner interchange, and the Cross Bronx not going to be any better. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and the tunnels. Inbound side of the George Washington Bridge, about 15 to the upper, 10 to the lower, so at least this is getting better. 30 to 45 at the inbound Lincoln, 20 out. Holland 20 in, 45 on the outbound ride. Traffic sponsored by the off-Broadway comedy Actually We're Effed. Actually We're Effed is a new comedy about infertility, infidelity, and the end of the world. The New York Times calls it edgy, a boomer's burlesque, while Joy Degenhar says it's funny and insightful. Limited engagement ends April 7th. For tickets, visit cherrylanetheater.org. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Samuel.
A cold rain continues across the tri-state, and it will continue through the night. We'll add some fog into the next two later tonight as well, so that'll make travel a little bit more difficult than it already is. We won't see that fog, I don't think, until after midnight, but certainly chilly weather out there. Upper 30s right now will slowly rise to around 43 by daybreak, and we'll continue to climb tomorrow because we'll have the sun coming back out. It may take until the afternoon to get that sun, but once it comes out, temperatures should quickly jump into the 60s. 66 the forecast high in the city. Tomorrow night, mostly clear and comfortable with a low not far from 50. Sunday looks good, too. Partly sunny with a high of 65. An active weather pattern early next week, but it could turn out to be pretty warm still, with temperatures well into the 60s Monday and Tuesday. Outside right now, it's 39 degrees with the rain falling at Central Park, and we'll hold steady for now in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Samuel on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins.
Wednesday News Time at 6:53. Today marks 25 years since Kurt Cobain committed suicide. Fans left flowers, candles, and messages at a Seattle park near the house where the 27-year-old Nirvana frontman shot himself. An investigation determined that Cobain took a massive dose of heroin and then shot himself. A lot of buzz around Ecuador's embassy in London, where Julian Assange has been holed up since 2012. Correspondent Tom Rivers has more.
Ecuador's foreign ministry says it won't comment on what it calls rumors, theories, and conjectures. Outside the embassy, it's been very quiet. A close friend of Assange, Vaughn Smith here in London, says,
I think one day he will leave that embassy, and he will end up, going through a long court case to extradite him.
Fueling this latest fire, Ecuadorian President Moreno blames WikiLeaks for recent offshore corruption allegations, a claim the whistleblowing site denies.
Assange fears he'll be arrested and extradited to the U.S. for publishing thousands of classified military and diplomatic cables through WikiLeaks. Sometimes love takes its time, but the Birdland Zoo is hoping that this is the year for panda romance. The zoo's two giant pandas, 8-year-old male Zhao Kui and 5-year-old Meng Meng, a female, arrived from China in June of 2017 after nearly 2 years of munching bamboo. They were brought together for the first time today when Meng went into heat, but the zookeeper said the pandas still need some practice. Wednesday News Time, 6:55. This is a test of the emergency alert system. testing its emergency alert system equipment. 1010 Wind serves the 5 boroughs of New York City. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system.
Electrifying, says the Washington Post. Irresistible, says the Entertainment Weekly cheer. It brings the audience to its feet. Ain't too proud. It's the New York Times critics poll. Ben Brantley says it's pretty close to perfection. Ain't too proud. The lightning times of their temptation. Now on Broadway. Visit telecharge.com.
Wednesday's time, 6:56 now. Bloomberg MoneyWatch, here's Larry Cox.
It was a lackluster day on Wall Street despite a solid March employment report. The S&P 500 rose for a 7th session, its longest rally since 2017. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 40. The S&P 500 added 13. The Nasdaq Composite rose 46. With its 737 MAX jets still grounded following 2 fatal crashes, Boeing is slowing production of the jet. It'll temporarily cut production to 42 planes per month from the current 52. There will be no layoffs among 737 MAX production workers, at least for now. Job growth got back on track last month. The government reports 196,000 jobs created after February's weak day of just 33,000. J.J. Kinahan at TD Ameritrade says that's more like it.
You look at the trend is more where we believe it should be.
The unemployment rate held steady last month at 3.8%. Wage gains slowed. Bloomberg MoneyWatch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Kowski for 1010 Win.
Wednesday's time, 6:57.
You may be on the wrong road of cancer treatment if chemo isn't working and radical surgery isn't wanted. Seeking a second opinion with Dr. Lederman isn't bigamy, it's smart. I'm Dr. Lederman. It's smart to get a fresh second opinion about cancer treatment when endless chemo and radical surgery doesn't offer you the life you wish. That's why so many people come to Radio Surgery in New York to learn about all cancer treatment options. Our invisible outpatient radio surgery is non-invasive and highly successful where we attack the cancer. Most insurances, Medicare, Medicaid accepted. 1384 Broadway at 38. Call 212 Choices. 212 Choices for a free booklet DVD. Call 212 Choices to meet Dr. Lederman. First in America with body radio surgery cancer treatment. Thousands treated over decades. Meet Dr. Lederman. 212 Choices. Be smart. Get new cancer treatment ideas with Dr. Lederman. 212 Choices.
The tradition. The suspense. The race. The Kentucky Derby is the pinnacle of horse racing. Rocket Mortgage is giving away 20 VIP trips to witness the Kentucky Derby in person. And one lucky winner will receive $250,000. Either to purchase your dream home or pay off your mortgage. Enter today at homestretchsweepstakes.com. The fashion, the mint julep, the party. This is your opportunity to experience it all firsthand, thanks to the Rocket Mortgage Homestretch Sweepstakes. Enter for your chance to win $250,000 and one of 20 VIP trips to the Kentucky Derby. The Rocket Mortgage Homestretch Sweepstakes. Enter today at homestretchsweepstakes.com.
No purchase necessary. 21 years or older. And on April 7, 2019. HomestretchSweepstakes.com. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. And MLS number 3030.
Wednesday's time, 6:59. Now this message. This evening's commute is sponsored by Bethpage Federal Credit Union. They care about what you care about.
WINS, WINS HD, WAW is New York.
Radio.com station. 1010 Winds AccuWeather says it'll be cloudy and chilly tonight with periods of rain, drizzle, and fog. Temperatures will actually rise overnight through the 40s tomorrow. Early clouds, fog, and drizzle give way to some sunshine. Much warmer tomorrow. High 66 in the city. It's going to stay a little bit cooler, though, on Long Island. Tomorrow night, clear to partly cloudy, low 49. Nice day Sunday. Sunshine mixing with some clouds. High 65. 39 degrees now, lightly raining in New York. Going up to 49 more people. Get their news from 1010 Winds, then from any other radio station in the nation. Jim Powers is our service aide, our writers Julie Vaughn, Justin Traeger at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Madden.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, it's 39 degrees at 7 o'clock on this Friday, April 5th. I'm David Weiss, and here's what's happening. The body found in a Staten Island storage unit yesterday is confirmed as that of a missing teacher. Her estranged husband and his pregnant girlfriend have been charged with murder. A
A suspect in custody following a report of an armed man at Fashion Institute of Technology in Chelsea that led to a shelter-in-place alert there earlier this evening. Police say there is no longer an active threat there. The measles outbreak in Rockland County. Word more people were exposed to the virus at a hospital there as a judge knocks down the county's emergency ban on unvaccinated children from going to public places. And a single scene in the city. Turns out Manhattan ranks fairly high among the most unmarried places in the country. 10-10 winds, AccuWeather, cloudy and chilly with some rain and drizzle tonight and overnight. Some fog as well. Temperatures actually going up through the 40s, ending up at a high of 66 tomorrow.
Just south of Hurst late night for the local pros. The Knicks are visiting Houston while the Rangers are home for Columbus. The Yanks and Mets are off until tomorrow, while Virginia, Auburn, Michigan State, and Texas Tech prep for the Final Four.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kosky. The Dow closed at 26,424, up 40. Boeing just slowed production of its 737 MAX, while the plane remains grounded.
Winds News Time, 7:01. From the Ram Trucks Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
Now let's bounce over to Brooklyn. Eastbound BQE looks like a broken down box truck in the right lane before the Brooklyn Bridge. You got a dad back to Industry City, and then more brake lights from Flushing Avenue to the Kosciuszko Bridge. Westbound, worst of it from the Williamsburg down to Atlantic Avenue. Cross Island, you got a southbound crawl from right around the marina all the way to the LI Clearview. That'll do it better. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George, no more than 15 minutes. There's no good way out yet. Eastbound side of the Bruckner slam to the Sheridan. Westbound just after the Sheridan, you got a two-car wreck still knocking out the right lane. Lincoln, 30 to 40 in, 15 to 20 out. Holland, 30 in from the Skyway, better from the Turnpike. Outbound still a solid 30. It took 40 minutes. Belton, Brooklyn eastbound starting to get better. The worst of what's left is getting past Flatbush. A westbound crawl getting over towards Cropsey Avenue. And the Staten Island Expressway extra slow on the westbound go, getting over towards the West Shore Expressway. Traffic sponsored by Care Right Centers. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 7:11 on 1010 Winds.
The Riverside is Manhattan's choice for rehabilitation and nursing, offering a state-of-the-art rehabilitation center. Enjoy offerings of alternative medicine like Urban Zen. The Riverside Premier Rehabilitation and Healing Center, part of the Care Right Centers network. Visit careritecenters.com.
Winds News Time, 7:03. The city's medical examiner has confirmed the body found yesterday in a storage unit on Staten Island is that of a missing teacher and mother of three. Her estranged husband and his pregnant girlfriend now facing murder charges.
A brief court appearance for Michael Camerata and Aisha Ajia, handcuffed, standing side by side, held without bail in the murder of Janine Camerata. Ajia's attorney Mark Fonte not happy that his client was picked up Tuesday night, but that he didn't get to see her until Friday.
What's been happening to her for all these days? Where she's isolated, interrogated, kept from her family, kept from the lawyer.
The 37-year-old Camerata disappeared Saturday night, heading to her estranged husband's home in Queens. Thursday, her remains, described as charred and unrecognizable, were discovered in a storage unit on Arden Avenue. The Cameratas were in the middle of a messy divorce and custody battle over their two young girls. Al Jones, 1010 Winds at the criminal courthouse on Staten Island.
The NYPD is reporting there's no longer an active threat at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology in Chelsea, where an armed man was reported to be inside the building at 227 West 27th Street. Police say one person is in custody. They have released no other details on this so far. Students and staff had been ordered to shelter in place and lock all doors and windows during the early evening incident. Again, police say there is no longer an active threat there. Winds News Time, 7:04. Some new developments in the measles outbreak in Rockland County. First, a judge today ruling against the county on the emergency declaration that issued a ban on children who haven't been vaccinated from going to schools and other public places. And so the county has now lifted its state of emergency, and that ban no longer exists. The county's attorney had argued the ban was needed to stop the spread of measles, which has infected more than 160 people in Rockland County since October. Some parents took this ban to court, and again, the judge ruled against the county. Meanwhile, the county's health commissioner, Dr. Patricia Schnabel-Rupert, telling reporters today that more than 3 dozen people have been exposed to the virus at Montefiore Nyack Hospital recently.
42 people who work at the hospital were exposed. Nyack has done an outstanding job of contacting those people. They included 11 children, 4 pregnant females, and 20 that have unknown vaccine status.
And we're told another 7 people were exposed at the hospital that were born before 1957, which indicates they have immunity since they were likely exposed to the virus as children.
Winds News Time 7:05. AccuWeather is calling for a cloudy and chilly evening ahead with periods of rain and drizzle. There'll be damp overnight, some areas of fog as well. Temperatures actually go up, rising through the 40s. Early clouds tomorrow, drizzle and fog giving way to some sunshine by afternoon and turning much warmer. A high eventually tomorrow of 66 in the city and inland suburbs, closer to 60 along the shores of Long Island and Connecticut. And for Sunday, sunshine mixing with some clouds, another pleasant day with a high of 65. Some light rain falling around the area, 39 degrees right now. Winds News Time 7:06. Brian Weiner is facing charges in connection with his now disproved contention that he is the 6-year-old boy who disappeared in Aurora, Ohio back in 2011. In Cincinnati, U.S. Attorney Benjamin Glassman telling WCPO the 23-year-old raised some red flags early on.
The person who had identified himself as Timothy Pitson declined to provide fingerprints on request. He did, however, provide a swab from which DNA could be tested.
And when it was tested, it showed Weiner was not the missing boy. Investigators later determined Weiner had twice before portrayed himself as a juvenile victim of sex traffickers. Winds News Time 7:06. The 27-year-old man held for murder in the friendly fire death of a Queens detective during what was believed to be an armed robbery, telling the Daily News it was actually a prank gone horribly wrong. Christopher Ransom says he's a shock value comic and never meant to hurt anyone. Ransom and his alleged lookout, Jagger Freeman, are facing murder, manslaughter, assault, and robbery charges in the death of 42-year-old detective Brian Simonson, who was fatally wounded when cops fired after spotting Ransom with what turned out to be a fake handgun. Ransom says Freeman was videotaping the whole thing. He also claims he returned the workers' cash and handed them his comedy business card. Contradicting his professed intention, though, are previous charges that link Ransom to 4 previous cell phone store robberies. The Daily News says Ransom's legal aid attorney tells them his client suffers from mental health issues and could have been attempting suicide by cop. Winds News Time 7:07. The acting head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement won't be the permanent head of ICE. Ahead of his trip to the U.S.-Mexico border in California, President Trump today said he's pulling Ron Vitello's nomination.
We're going in a little different direction. Ron's a good man, but we're going in a tougher direction. We want to go in a tougher direction.
There have been questions about some controversial social media posts Vitello made in the past. The agency's union also strongly opposed his nomination. President Trump has not yet specified who his next nominee might be to lead ICE. Winds News Time 7:08. He's run 3 times for New York governor on the Green Party line, and now Howie Hawkins says he's considering a run for the White House. The 66-year-old from Syracuse is a former Teamster who backs clean energy, more education funding, and universal health care. Hawkins said this week he has formed an exploratory committee to lay the groundwork for a possible presidential campaign. A milestone for Apple Music in the race to become the dominant streaming music service.
Apple Music has surpassed Spotify in paid U.S. subscriptions, now at 28 million. According to the Wall Street Journal, Spotify remains far ahead globally with 96 million paid subscribers compared to Apple's 50 million. But the two are battling each other. With 101 million active iPhones in the U.S., the Apple Music app comes preloaded on devices. Spotify offers 3 months of its premium service for 99 cents, a major driver of subscription growth. I'm Ann Cates.
Cloudy and chilly tonight, some rain and drizzle overnight, some fog developing as well. Temperatures will go from where they are now, around 40, right through the 40s to a high of 66 with eventual sunshine tomorrow. Again, light rain falling and 39 right now. Winds News Time 7:09.
Ask yourself, if you built a van for your business, where would you start? At the beginning, of course, with the people who invented the work van over 100 years ago, Mercedes-Benz. You'd give your new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter advanced technology and safety to keep you connected and protected. You'd make it available in diesel and gas, and there would be thousands of configurations and upfits to choose from, because your one-of-a-kind business deserves nothing less than a van that's built for you. Introducing the all-new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, the safest, most innovative Sprinter yet, starting at just $33,790. Built for you, the all-new Sprinter. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP for excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation, charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, non-availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Equipment is practice optional.
Wins News Time 7:10, traffic and AccuWeather in 1 minute.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I believe that your company has the answer because I've been through cancer treatment and knowing what it does to the body, and oh my, because that's all that medical science has to offer. There must be a better way, and I think the better way is knowing what to eat and getting it. I do notice that I have less inflammation. I feel like when I'm taking Balance of Nature, I'm getting fruits and vegetables more than what I would ordinarily get. I like when I open up the bottle, you can really smell the fruits and vegetables. I mean, I know I'm getting fruits and vegetables.
When you call, use discount code NEWS, and we'll take 20% off any first preferred order of Balance of Nature and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code NEWS. Wins News Time 7:11. From the Mavis Discount Tire Traffic Center, here's Greg Rice.
I'll still at it in the Bronx. We got this wreck on the Bruckner westbound just after the Sheridan, a right lane knocked out, and it's a mess out of the Bruckner interchange. Traffic sponsored by MajorWorld.com, and the eastbound Bruckner also very tough getting back towards the Sheridan Expressway. It is a soggy Friday, so nothing is thinning out yet, getting you to the outbound side of the George Washington Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound side of the George, that at least has gotten better into and across on the upper and lower. Lincoln's about 40 in, 15 to 20 out. Holland, we're looking at about 15 in, 30 to 40 onto the outbound ride. Eastbound BQE before the Brooklyn Bridge, you got a breakdown, you got the right lane knocked out, and it's a mess all the way back from Industry City. Subways, you got major issues on the 2, 3, 4, and 5 trains because of issues at Flatbush Avenue at Brooklyn College. And now this message. When buying a car, before you sign on the dotted line, which may include huge add-on fees, stop. At Major World, you only pay a $75 dealer fee. The price you negotiate is the price you pay, plus tax tags and DMV. Major World, no games, no gimmicks. MajorWorld.com, open 7 days a week. 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast, sponsored by Zalman, Schnerman, and Weiner Personal Injury Attorneys. Here's meteorologist John Feerick. A damp, raw, ugly evening out there. Temperatures in the upper 30s, a little bit of rain and drizzle. And we're going to have some rain and drizzle at times through the night, along with areas of fog. Temperatures on the rise, though. We'll climb through the 40s as we head through the night. Drizzle and fog to start tomorrow, then clouds break for some sunshine. Warmer afternoon. Definitely feeling more like spring tomorrow afternoon up to 66. Clear to partly cloudy tomorrow night, down to 49. Nice on Sunday, partly sunny, high 65. Couple of showers on Monday, high and low in mid-60s. And then warmer Tuesday, we're up near 70. Right down Central Park, 39. Rain climbing to 48 tonight in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Feerick on New York's weather station, 1010 Blue.
Wins News Time 7:13. We're here with attorney Mark Weiner of the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnerman, and Weiner. Mark, if someone's injured in an accident, what should they do?
It is always best to report the accident as soon as possible and gather all important information.
Now, is it important to call an experienced personal injury attorney?
Absolutely. The sooner you call, the better. If you call us for a free consultation at 1-800-LAW-LINE, we will be able to advise you of your rights. The sooner we get started on investigating what happened, the better. There are many reasons to act quickly. The failure to act may mean losing a chance for compensation.
So if someone's injured in an accident, when is the best time to call you?
If you are injured in an accident, you should call us right now at 1-800-LAW-LINE. There is no cost for a consultation and no fee unless there's a recovery. We are here to help you.
So if you're injured in an accident, call the experienced personal injury attorneys at Zalman, Schnerman, and Weiner at 1-800-LAW-LINE. That number again, 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Wins News Time 7:14. 1010 Wins Sports in 1 minute.
Oh, honey, they're here.
But I just called them.
This is going to be great.
It's spring cleaning day. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is here.
Don't you love this job? This is the greatest job ever. Is there anything else you'd like to disappear? Look at this garage.
That yard.
Who knew our closets were so big?
We'll bring you a truckload of springtime joy just 90 minutes after you call. We work until midnight, 7 days a week. Just call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
In a long, drab winter, time for a spring coat of paint. Change your wall colors or exterior. Certapro Painters listens, customizes, prices firm, painters polite, on time, focused, neat. When Certapro wants your feedback. There's a problem, they come back. Patricia McCann, they transform my peeling worn windows so framed. You just see them. They're Do your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 800-GO-CERTA. That's Certa with a C.
CertaPro says we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Wednesday time.